This video is sponsored by Podhome.
Podcasting is no longer an obscure hobby. As of November 2024, there were over 4 million podcasts in existence and over 500 million podcast listeners. And in 2025, this is your year to start one. I have 5 reasons why you should start a podcast today and what the best website is to use to start one.
Podcasts are cool.
Let me just remind you how simple it is to start a podcast. You need a microphone, some editing software, and a hosting service. I suggest Podhome, and I'll get to that later. Starting a podcast could be your next big move, and Podhome can help you in every step of the way. Reason number 1, your voice equals your platform. You don't have to censor yourself with any social media. You don't need to try to chase some algorithm so that you can go viral. If you focus on podcasting and your own RSS feed, you're able to use your voice in the most authentic way possible, and you don't have to pretend to be somebody else. This gives you an opportunity to focus on the niche and aspect of the world that you're truly passionate about. That could be true crime, video games, board games, sports, pick whatever topic you want, truly, whatever topic you want. And you can be yourself. And that's all anyone really wants, right? Reason number 2 to start a podcast, you can build a connected audience. Now, with social media, everything is turning into TikTok. People are just scrolling through, the algorithms are passive, people are just tapping by on your thing, barely listening to every video they're watching. But with a podcast, someone is choosing to click play and to listen to your story. And depending on the length of your episode, they're listening to you for a longer amount of time than they would on any other social media. And that's a big deal. If you want to share your story, and people will listen. One of the best examples of this is Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast. He's really candid. He's authentic about his shortcomings, about his past addictions in his life. And the audience responded to that and feel connected to him with that. You can do the same thing if you share your story in an authentic way. People will relate to you and will want to connect to you. Reason number 3 to start a podcast is this is a global opportunity. Podcasting is a worldwide experience. Every person in every demographic listens to podcasts. So depending on what your story is, you can connect to the right people. There's over 500 million podcast listeners. You have an opportunity to tap into this and more. If you're using Podhome to distribute your podcast, you can publish on the most popular podcast platforms like Apple and Spotify, Google, but every country has their own niche podcast app. Different folks, different strokes, different apps, different taps. Put your podcast everywhere. Put yourself in the best position in 2025 and put your podcast in every single directory and app that's out there. That's the beautiful thing about podcasting. You're not stuck in one app or one algorithm. You can be in many different places all at the same time with one single feed. And I want to give an even bigger shout out to Podhome, the sponsor of this video. They make it really easy to distribute your podcast, but also create one. They have AI tools that create an automatic transcript, automatic chapters. Literally, like when you upload your audio file, the AI makes chapters for you. Podhome is the most modern, simple, and affordable podcast hosting service that's out there. It's $15.99 a month. You have great AI services that help you automate the whole process of posting and creating a podcast. And it's just simple to use, really, just easy navigation. Reason number 4 to start a podcast is the monetization side, the money stuff and the business side. There's multiple ways to make money from your podcast. You can do it through sponsorships. You can do it through direct listener donations through PayPal or Patreon. Or if you're into Bitcoin, there's an app called Fountain.fm that lets the listeners send Bitcoin to you. There's many different ways that you can use this to your advantage. You could also sell products with your podcast. If your podcast is a part of an ongoing business or it's the foundation of a brand new business, you can sell merchandise or any digital services. If you're an entrepreneur or if you want to start a business, a podcast is a great way to start out and to get the message out there. Reason number 5 to start a podcast is this is the moment to believe in yourself. If you have ever thought about starting something new, if you have been thinking about starting a show in the back of your mind for a few years or a few months now, this is your time. Take this video as a sign that it is time to bet on yourself. Now, when it comes to New Year's and New Year's goals and resolutions, some people might have already failed on their New Year's resolutions. Podcasting is not supposed to be hard or a grind. It's supposed to be laid back, relaxed, and something that you are interested in doing, something that you want to express yourself fully in. From the deepest part of my heart, I'm telling you to go for it. Reach out and chase your dreams and achieve your goals this year. You can do that with a podcast. You can do that with Pod Home. Believe in yourself. It's time to believe in yourself. Embrace the opportunity and begin the journey today with Pod Home. I want to know your thoughts. Do you think 2025 is a good year to start a podcast? Comment down below in the comments and let me know. And if you have any questions, Podcast Normie is always here to help. Subscribe to Podcast Normie for more tips and resources. More videos are coming out every week.